The finance guru, Dan Geltrude. By the way, go to Dan's website, dangeltrude.com. When you leave an employer, what should you do with your 401k?
When you leave your employer, you basically have three options. First, you can cash out. Second, you can leave the funds in that 401k with your former employer, or you can roll it over to an IRA or perhaps your new employer's 401k if you're moving on to a company that has a 401k. So let's just take a look at each of these. To begin with, cashing out. That's the worst of the three options, and most people know this, but I'll just mention it, is because when you cash out, that triggers the tax on whatever funds that you have in there. So that's not a good idea. Plus, you pay a penalty if you're under 59.5, and that's another 10% on top of the federal and state taxes. So this is a highly undesirable option and should be avoided unless it's an absolute emergency and you really, really need the funds, but you're giving up a lot to do that. The second option, as far as leaving the 401k with that former employer, you have to be careful because you may have to have a minimum amount in that 401k in order to be able to leave it there. But keep in mind that you can't contribute to it any further. So that basically gets locked down, and it's also less likely that you're going to keep on top of it. So, a large number of employers may have access to low-cost institutional funds that you can't get in an IRA. So the other side of this is the money that's in there may actually be doing pretty well. So that's the other side. And you may also be able to borrow against it. So that's another reason to consider leaving that 401k in place. So there are pluses and minuses as to leaving it where it is, and you have to make a determination as to what the best fit is. Then the final option is you can roll it over. You can roll it over to your new employer, perhaps, if they have a 401k, or put it into an IRA. So the most important thing here is that when you are rolling over a 401k, it must go direct. You can't pull those funds out and then put it into a new plan. It has to go trustee to trustee. If you don't do it that way, it will trigger the taxes and it will trigger the penalty. So you got to make sure that you're rolling directly. Super important there. So if you're going to go to a new 401k, you're in a situation where perhaps not a lot is going to change. If you're going to roll over into an IRA, well, now you have a situation where you are in direct and complete control over your money, and you also may have opportunities to invest in stocks and bonds that are not offered in 401ks, which are really putting your funds into mutual funds. But I would say, given all of the options, generally speaking, the direct rollover to an IRA or to a new 401k is the best option.